bonjour, assalamu alaikum. I'm the Moonlit Page Turner. Grab your treat, grab your tea, and let's talk books. For this month's read, we are traveling to Chad, which is actually right above the last country that we visited, the Central Republic of Africa. And Chad is the 5th largest country in Africa. It has about 100 languages and dialects, which shows a great diversity within the country. There has been evidence of people there since the Neolithic era, so like 9,000 years ago. There is an influence, a pretty early influence of Arabic and Islamic migrants coming to the area of Lake Chad, which is the bottom left corner, which is actually where Chad gets its name from, is from Lake Chad. And the little kind of like fun thing that I learned about Chad is that the word Chad derived from a word that meant lake, so it's like lake. But of course the French mispronounced it, which is why you get the name that's derived from that. So that's the Chad part of it came from a French mispronunciation. And the country was taken over in 1910 when that area, which is Chad, Central African Republic, and the Congo, was taken over by the French. And then they didn't really gain their independence until 1960. And really they didn't gain their full independence because Libya took a part of it, which is the north, and they finally got that part back in, I think, 1994. So after 1960, there was a lot of civil war and things that were going on with the establishment of the country. So it has since settled a little bit considering what's going on with their neighbors. But yeah, it's had a really interesting start. And that is our one and only read, because I was having issues finding books for Chad, actually. And this is a translated book. You'll see it's pretty short. And this does go into the kind of establishment of the country and the folklore that is behind it. Before we jump into this month's read, let's get into this month's treat. This is Boule. This is similar to fufu, which is in several countries, or I made the fungi from Antigua, and this is what's called like a starch ball. So this is made from millet, and you let it ferment, and then you mix it with boiling water, and it makes like this paste. Now, millet is gluten-free. You can add clarified butter, which is what I did, and so you don't have to. So this could be a totally vegan treat. It said you could add roasted peanuts. I made it with peanut butter and also black pepper, which was interesting, but it brings a little bit more of that roasted peanut taste out. I will tell you, as I've tried this, it's definitely something that you need to eat day one. And it's not my most appetizing things that I've made, but this bad boy will 100% fill you up, which is why it is such a staple in many like fufu and many cultural diets. So here I go. I'm really glad that I put the peanuts in there, because it has like definitely a grainy texture to it. It needs to be eaten with something else. So eating it by itself, I would not recommend. But again, it's fully just a starch ball. So if you're looking for something that's small that's going to fill you up, this is it. But I would definitely mix it with like vegetables, or they do it with like lamb in Chad. So it definitely needs something else. The book that I chose is Told by Starlight, and this is by Joseph Brahim Seid. And this book is beautifully written. It's fairly short, you can see it. So I'm actually going to read a portion of it for you so that you can see kind of the language that's in it. It is early history and folktales. In the back it says it's like for all ages, primary, secondary, and tertiary education. The language is simple enough that you could, I would say, upper elementary if you're looking kind of to expand, like if you're a kid that you want to expand their worldview. Told by Starlight would be great for upper elementary, definitely middle school, high school. Again, it does get a little simple, but if you're looking for like folk tales from around the world, this is a great option as well. The chapters are fairly short, and each one has a little drawing in it, like a cave drawing. They're all animals, but they're like deer or antelope or some type of horned creature. But I enjoyed this book. Again, it was really simple to read. It starts off with the two tribes that are there that split, that make like the nation state, and then you see the Islamic influence that comes in. But the short part of it is that I'm going to read to you is called The Eclipse of the Moon, and that is your drawing. So discord and dissension exist not only among men. Up there in the heavens, the sun and the moon have vowed an unending enmity. And yet the two stars seem to be made to get along. Each one is duly sublime in its plenitude. Each one dispels the darkness. Each one shines for man, for the animals, for the plants. Eternal wayfaring travelers both light up the deserts, the forests, the lakes, and the small valleys. There is an enmity, a difference of temperament between the two stars. Whereas the sun has an immense manly vigor that heats, energizes, and consumes, the moon has a motherly gentleness that caresses, refreshes, and soothes. The star of the day is as regular as clockwork. He rises in the morning and greets nature with a burst of scarlet fire. The moon, on the other hand, lacks consistency and self-assurance. She is playful and secretive. Sometimes she appears in the west, showing only her profile, spying as if it were on the world that awaits her. Sometimes she shows herself in the eastern sky, boasting a radiant, full, round, white face. But this difference of characters that sets the two stars at variance still does not explain the discord that reigns between them. The cause of their enmity goes far back in the night of time. One evening, weary of her frolicsome existence, the moon wished to meet the sun. She set out on the latter's path, climbing the treacherous slope, strewn with boulders, brambles, and thorns. After having covered a considerable distance, and with much difficulty, she suddenly felt faint. In the space of a few seconds, her luminous white face grew dim, and a great shadow was cast over the earth. Seeing the moon approach him, the sun blew a wind which split the boulders in pieces, causing the brambles and thorns to jet out like sharp spears, thus riddling the already difficult path the moon was following with insurmountable obstacles. On top of this, he aimed his scorching rays at her, and slowly the moon was consumed. She would soon have been reduced to ashes to scatter on the earth, had it not been for the men who, becoming aware of the unfolding drama, entreated the sun to desist its destructive course of action. Banging on upturned calabasas, floating on water vessels, these families sent up to the heavens a deafening and disapproving furor. At the same time, they lit fires in front of their huts, cooked millet, like we ate, some corn, some groundnuts, and distributed the food to the young children. After they had eaten their fill, the children sent up prayers full of innocence that reached the very depths of heaven. Thus it was that the agonizing celestial tragedy was averted. Overcome with pity, the sun relaxed its intensity of its rays. Gradually, the moon regained her senses, got back her form, strength, and turned around. Resuming her planetary course, she completed her revolution around the earth. It still happens to this day that the beautiful Queen of Night repeats her tragic adventure by entering the sun's path. And as in days gone, the people of Chad and their children, filled with foreboding, repeat the night, a custom that is 1,000 times 1,000 years old, to secure the moon's deliverance and avert the cataclysmic cosmic event which would be without precedent in the history of the world. So that is just one of the stories. You can kind of tell by the language of it that Seid really has a love for Chad, and just beautiful writing, great translation. So I really, really did enjoy this book, although it was short, and I wish I had a little bit more from Chad to read from. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to find more from Chad. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Next month, we are traveling to Chile. And because I only had one book for Chad and it was super short, I actually have 3 for Chile, mainly because I do try to do both male and female authors. And so I had this one's more of like a young adult reader, and I had him, but then I saw this one and I was super intrigued. So that's why I have 3 for Chile. If you're ever interested in what's coming up next or what we've read in the past, please join us on Goodreads or Instagram. See you then.